Hi, and welcome back to the Red Panda Co. I am Tasha. Today we are doing a couple of face ups. It's been a while since I've done a face up, so this has been kind of nice. There is going to be 2 face ups in this video. I am going to frame it a little bit differently though. Hopefully you like it. If you do like it, let me know in the comments below. Thumbs up the video. Just let me know if this is something that you'd want to see again, because I kind of had fun doing it. It is a little bit more work. There's a little bit more involved than just the face up aspect, but it's totally worth it. It was a lot of fun. And so let me know down below. Once you've watched this video and you know what I'm talking about, let me know down below if you liked it. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like. We just hit 500 subscribers last week, or just a few days ago. And so I'm very excited. I never thought I'd even get close to 500 subscribers, let alone now we're at like 507 or something like that. So thank you so much if you've subscribed. Feel free to subscribe if you are not. I post every Monday and it is Smart Doll related. Whether it's a vlog or an unboxing or whatever it is, Smart Doll is in it somehow because I'm addicted. Let's just be honest. Anyway, we will try to keep the intro short so we can get straight into the face ups. I really hope you like it, and without further ado, let's get into it. Once upon a time, there lived a set of royal twins. While they had the same face, they were both wildly different and continued to diverge from each other as they aged. One was harsh with downturned eyebrows and menacing red eyes and dark tan skin. She challenged any authority that came against her and did not trust a soul. The other was kind. Blue eyes pierced anyone's heart. She was fair-skinned, kind, and gentle with anyone she met. When they were just 16, their parents, the king and queen of the land, perished in a terrible accident. They were left to be raised by the kingdom's council until they were 18, the age in which they could be queens. They were told that on the day of their coronation, they could rule side by side. The fiery of the 2 twins had no desire to rule, but it was decreed, since there was no current king or queen on the throne, that there was no heir, both must be queen. She did not trust the kingdom's council and warned her sister to steer clear, but her sister paid her no mind, and instead worked very closely with them. She would watch her sister grow closer and closer to the council, and something in her clear blue eyes changed. On the day of their 18th birthday, they both dressed in extravagant gowns of red and blue, matching their eyes. Each had curls falling at their shoulders. The first sister stared at the blue-eyed princess with curiosity. She seemed quiet today. "Are you all right, sister?" she asked, concerned. She pulled herself from the trance she seemed to be in and nodded. That didn't seem to ease the tightness in her chest, but that also could have been the corset squeezing the life out of her. Before she could think any longer on the matter, the door opened to the room they had been getting dressed in, and a servant walked in. "It's time, your majesties," he said, bowing lowly. The first sister took a deep breath and followed her twin out the door to the large ballroom that the coronation would be taking place in. She watched as her sister's blue gown dragged the floor. Something seemed off, but she could not put her finger on it. Once they reached the ballroom, a grand crowd could be seen gathering around the stage, waiting for the festivities to start. They were all dressed in gowns and suits, no hair out of place. Their jewelry sparkled under the large chandeliers. As the princesses neared the stage, a hush fell across the crowd. The head man of the council stepped up on stage and everyone silenced. "Welcome to the coronation of the newest queens of the kingdom," he bellowed, arms raised high in celebration. "Before we get started with our celebration, I would like to make an announcement." He lowered his hands and cleared his throat. He looked at the fair-skinned, blue-eyed sister and smiled. She smiled back to the dismay of her twin. "I know change is difficult, we can all agree. But we believe that a new era is coming, and we would like to follow it." The first sister felt her hands sweating. What was happening? Her sister seemed to know what he was talking about, but she had no idea. She looked around to the crowd again, and they were hanging on every word he was saying. "Ever since the great tragedy 2 years ago, we have been missing our king and queen on the throne. Rest in peace," he said, lowering his head. "Today marks a change in history." She shifted uncomfortably in her dress. Panic started to arise in her. Something wasn't right. She felt a small tap on her shoulder. She turned around, ready to fight whoever was bothering her, when she saw a tall young man in a red suit standing behind her. "Princess," he came close to whisper in her ear, "you have to come with me. It's urgent." She stared at him, waiting for an explanation, but none came. His brown eyes bore into her. "I'm sorry, this can't wait," she answered. "No, Your Majesty, we have to leave now." He looked panicked. Her eyes went to her sister, still looking longingly at the councilman on the stage. Her blue eyes twinkled and her expression was soft and kind. She turned back to the councilman, hesitating to go with the stranger behind her. "The council has decreed that only one princess should be queen," the councilman continued. Her eyes widened at the news and looked at her sister, who did not seem fazed. "Both princesses will be trained and will battle to the death for the title of queen in 1 year's time. If either princess is killed prior to the year mark, the living princess will take the throne." There was a loud gasp from the crowd, including her. She looked once more at her sister, and this time her blue eyes were looking at her. There was something there that she hadn't seen before. Hatred. "Sister, please, what's going on?" she tried to ask. The man standing behind her suddenly grabbed her shoulder and turned her to him. "Please come with me, you must be kept safe," he said, frantic. It was then that she noticed a sword at his belt, and panic shot through her. She looked back at her sister, who had a smile on her face, but it wasn't the kind smile she'd always been accustomed to. It was dark and hateful. "Sister, please," she cried out, but before she could answer, the man pulled her away. The crowd had gone wild and ladies fainted. The councilman was trying desperately to quiet the group. As the man pulled her away, she watched her sister turn away from her, falling away from her sight. She knew right then that nothing would ever be the same. I hope you enjoyed that story. I did write it, obviously. I can't imagine that you would think anything else. It was just a fun idea that I had. I just wanted to give background to these girls because I felt like it was a little bit boring, I guess, just to kind of talk about my experience and like what happened with the face up. And like, everybody's seen face up videos, and if you haven't seen face up videos, if you go searching for them, they're pretty much all the same, which I love. Don't get me wrong, I love watching face up videos, but I just wanted to get a different spin on a face up video. But really quickly, I'll kind of overview my experience with the face ups. So I did the red face up, the girl with the red face up first. They're sitting over here. I did her first, and she was pretty fun. So this is the first time, I think she's a little bit blown out, but this is the first time that I had done a face up on the more squinty-eyed girls, which I love. But I really enjoyed her. She was a little bit hard. Her eyebrows got a little bit away from me, so you'll see that. They're a little bit big, but I still think she's really cute. I wanted to do like a moody girl, you know? But I didn't really have a whole lot of issues with her. Moving on to her sister, she gave me a lot of issues. I don't know if you can tell in the video or in the photos that you will have probably already seen, but she was a little bit of a struggle. This blue colored pencil, I use Prismacolored, watercolored pencils, and for whatever reason, I've always had such great luck with Prismacolored pencils. I have a big set of regular colored pencils and they work amazing. But these colored pencils are a little bit, the watercolor colored pencils are a little bit complicated. They're a little bit flaky and they like to stain my girls. So with this girl, the blue colored pencil went all over the place. These girls will be for sale on my Etsy shop. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to list them by the time this video comes out, but I am going to try. So if they are, I'll put the link down below. But just as a disclaimer, she has little blue smudges all over her. And I'll make sure that I make that clear in the listing as well, but it was such a hard thing. I was so upset about this smudging and smearing of this blue colored pencil. I had to use 100% acetone. That is a trick. If you do face ups, use 100% acetone, not those weird mixes, because I did that first and it didn't work. But when I got my hands on 100% acetone, it came off just fine. However, I did have to cover it with a lot of the Mr. Super Clear in order to even out the layers, because when you take acetone to it, any layers that you've built up will be removed. So I had to build it up quite a bit after that. Anyway, that's all to say that this one was a little bit more of a struggle. And if you are interested in her, just know that she is going to have some blemishes. She's going to have some blue smudges on the back of her head. Luckily, you can't see it when the wig is on. But just as a disclaimer, that is going to be the case. And I am going to put her for a little bit cheaper than her sister, just because I know that she is a little bit imperfect, which they're going to be imperfect anyway, but she's even more so. Anyway, another thing I wanted to point out is I know that I don't give them names in these stories. It's because I wanted to keep the names. I didn't want to give them names because I'm not going to end up keeping them, and I want someone else to adopt them. I want, like, if you're watching this, give them names. You know, that was my biggest thing, is I want someone else to give them names, because they're not mine to keep. They're going to be someone else. That's also to say that they don't have to be sold together. If you want to buy them together, then just know they're sisters, but they don't have to stay together. But that was the reason that the names were not in the story, and so I hope that that made sense, who I was talking about. I did my best to explain who was talking and what was happening, and hopefully you can understand what was going on, considering the fact that there were no names. I basically explained them by the color of their eyes. So I hope that that made sense. I hope this was interesting. Again, if you enjoyed this, let me know, and I will definitely do this again. I had an idea actually to do this as a collab, right? So, you know, create a story and send a specific head and maybe some eyes, because I made these eyes, and they will be going with the face up also, just FYI. But I was thinking about creating a story and sending a blank head to somebody, have them read the story, and then do a face up based on the story that they read. And so I was kind of thinking about that. If you think this is interesting, if you're to this point in the video and you've not already like escaped, let me know if you would like that, because I've got at least one person in mind to be able to do a collab like that, and I might ask a couple of other people as well. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you think that would be interesting to use just words to explain what you think a face up would be, or what you think a character should be, instead of using any sort of visuals, let me know if you think that would be interesting. If that makes sense, let me know. So here is the last little peek of the sisters in the story I just read and the face up that you just watched. I really hope you enjoyed that. It was a lot of work, a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces. I also want to say that I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit with the fantasy aspect of it. I don't have hardly any, I don't have any fantasy clothing, and so this is actually the best I could do. So imagine that story happening in more modern times. So that's the reason that they're more in modern clothing. So this is the best I could do. So sorry about that, but this is the final result of my story and of the two sisters, and I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below if you did. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!